We have now cut across to the inauguration that is taking place right now of the defense complexes, and there the inauguration just started.
रक्षा कार्यालय परिसर जो कि अफ्रीका एवेन्यू और कस्तूरबा गांधी मार्ग पर स्थित हैं.
So this is, as you can see, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Minister Hardeep Singh Puri, Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well. So amid rainfall that is presently taking place, the downpour in National Capital Delhi, the inauguration just having taken place, the inauguration of a power corridor. The government is calling this as a revamp, and that's of course the precautionary measure of the rainfall, the raincoat that the Prime Minister has just taken off. All the ministers have now entered. And we do know that even the CDS, General Bipin Rawat, has already performed a prayer ceremony. Remember, this focus is specifically of this inauguration is of the office as a defense complex. That's very significant because this inauguration is going to take place, that has taken place, will house at least 7,000 defense ministry officials. They will also then move to the new premises of the Kasturba Gandhi Marg and Africa Avenue. Two different locations. Kasturba Gandhi Marg is right in the midst in central Delhi, in the Connaught Place area, while the Africa Avenue is towards the Chanakyapuri area.
सशस्त्र बलों के लगभग 7,000 अधिकारियों और कर्मचारियों के लिए कार्य करने का स्थान उपलब्ध कराया जा रहा है.
And at a cost of 775 crore rupees is the newly built defense complex that has now been constructed. As you can see, yes, giving a brief about the new office for the defense staff members, Prime Minister Narendra Modi being briefed by the officers there at the new complex.
रक्षा मंत्री श्री राजनाथ सिंह और केंद्रीय आवास और शहरी मामलों के मंत्री श्री हरदीप सिंह पुरी एक अत्याधुनिक इमारत, आधुनिक भारत को परिलक्षित करती हुई इन परिसरों के संचालन प्रबंधन के लिए विशेष तौर पर एक एकीकृत कमान और नियंत्रण केंद्र की भी स्थापना की गई है, जो अफ्रीका एवेन्यू और कस्तूरबा गांधी मार्ग.
Also important to point out here, this is one of the first inaugurations that has taken place as per the Central Vista project, surrounded in controversies, attacks by the opposition on it. But today, we do have the first inauguration taking place of the Defence Staff Complex. 7,000 staff members, 775 crore rupees, under which this area specifically, all of it has been built. And just to let you know, at the Africa Avenue, which is in Chanakyapuri, that new MOD complex is a 7-story building and will only house the Defence Ministry. So it is clear that from the government's perspective, the defence sector, the Defence Ministry offices for its staff to become functional as soon as possible was clearly a priority, and that is why one of the first inaugurations to take place.
केंद्रीय आवास और शहरी मामलों के मंत्री श्री हरदीप सिंह पुरी, रक्षा राज्य मंत्री श्री अजय भट्ट, केंद्रीय आवास राज्य मंत्री श्री कौशल किशोर भी माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय के साथ उपस्थित हैं.
Remember, for anyone who has seen the Secretariat area in central Delhi, while it was still functional, it was definitely very old, over decades now, and therefore perhaps what you see right now on your screen will be a complex of modern amenities, facilities, whether it is a basic staff office or even to the canteen and other complexes that have been built. All of it will have modern facilities. It appears to have been targeted for providing best facilities for the Defence Ministry staff members who will be in a phased manner moving in to this complex. Take a look at the visual on your screen. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and behind him I can also see Minister Hardeep Singh Puri, Defence Minister of course, alongside. All of them being briefed about what is being planned at this new inaugurated complex.
इन इमारतों की मुख्य विशेषता है निर्माण में.
And these are different locations, two different locations, as I repeated. The Kasturba Gandhi Marg in central Delhi, a 7-story building only for the Defence Ministry staff. Another will be the Africa Avenue, which is also in Chanakyapuri. Not very far from each other, all within the area where earlier the Secretariat had already been in place. But now all of that is going to go in just next few months. And while on one side, remember, there had been target and questioning by the opposition of what was the requirement to have pull it all down and create a new complex, according to the ministry. And we can see now the Chief of Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat there, briefing the Prime Minister what is going to be in this Defence Ministry complex, what precisely is going to be so different about this ministry complex than to the previous one. And that is important to be briefed about the modern facilities. And will it provide in any way an impetus for the Defence Ministry sector, for the staff members, for the employees working there, with one 7-story building, as opposed to perhaps a few stories of the South Block of the Secretariat area? This is going to be one 7-story building that will only have Defence Ministry officials. It's very significant, remember. This is clearly a revamp after all the years, decades long. In fact, since British, that the Secretariat area had been built, and all of that is going to go, and we'll have this new building. Defence Editor Abhishek Bhalla continues to be with us. Abhishek, so Minister of Housing, Urban Development, Defence Minister, CDS, all of them there. Prime Minister Modi being briefed. But the question is, what is going to be so special about this specific complex or for the Defence Ministry that we may not need the old South Block Secretariat area in central Delhi?
Well, Pooja, the offices that will be shifting right now immediately are hutments around North Block and South Block. Remember, the Defence Ministry largely functions out of South Block. So not all of South Block is going to shift as of now. Eventually that will happen in a few years once the Central Vista project is complete, and the plan is to ensure that North Block and South Block turn into museums. But for the time being, more than 7,000 personnel who've been working from these small office complexes around North Block and South Block will be shifting to these two office spaces, one in Kasturba Gandhi Marg and the other at Africa Avenue. The inauguration of the office complex at Africa Avenue will take place today. The Prime Minister is present for the inauguration. The total space of these buildings that are being vacated is 9.6 lakh square feet against 9.22 that will be vacated, and 9.6 lakh square feet will be the total area that these two office complexes will be built on. These are modern buildings, and most importantly, this is the first project under the Central Vista plan that will start functioning in a couple of months from now, as Defence Ministry personnel will shift from their old offices and come to these new modern buildings.
All right, Abhishek Bhalla is telling us about how there's going to be a shift of all these Defence Minister officials. Take a look at that from outside. A full view of what that building is going to look like. 7 stories. That has just been inaugurated by the Prime Minister. The Defence Ministry officials, employees, staff members, all of them can now move in, sit in one place, as apart perhaps from different offices that were in the South Block area. Prime Minister Modi taking an overview of the finished work. So the Housing and Urban Development Ministry was given and tasked with the completion, the construction of this specific complex. Abhishek Bhalla continues to be with us. Abhishek, just for the clarification here, the complex that the Prime Minister has presently inaugurated, is this the Africa Avenue in Chanakyapuri, or is this the Kasturba Gandhi 7-story Marg?
The event taking place today, the inauguration is at the Africa Avenue, Pooja. That's where the Prime Minister, the CDS, the Defence Minister, the Minister for Urban Development and several other officials are present for this inauguration. And around 50 acres of land has been vacated, will be vacated, from where these offices were functioning. And now they will function from these two separate office spaces that have been created under the Central Vista plan. It will take a while before the complete shifting takes place, because it will be done in a smooth manner to ensure that the transition is smooth. And at a later stage, when the Central Vista plan moves forward, even the offices in North Block and South Block, which are essentially the mainstays of government functioning in New Delhi will also be vacated, and they will also make way for a museum that will come up there, and they too will be part of the Central Vista plan, which includes a new Parliament building, a new residence for the Prime Minister, and several other departments and ministries of the Government of India.
All right, Abhishek, stay on with me because it appears that a ceremony is just about to begin. Few people there seated while the Prime Minister with the other ministers there on the stage. Hardeep Singh Puri, Urban Affairs Minister, speaking now.
केंद्रीय मंत्रिमंडल में मेरे साथी रक्षा राज्य मंत्री श्री अजय भट्ट जी, आवासन और शहरी कार्य मंत्रालय में राज्य मंत्री श्री कौशल जी, चीफ ऑफ द डिफेंस स्टाफ जनरल विपिन रावत जी एवं उपस्थित अन्य सभी गणमान्य व्यक्तियों, आप सभी को सादर नमन। आज इस शुभ अवसर पर आप सभी का स्वागत करते हुए मुझे बहुत ही खुशी हो रही है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, आज से कुछ 25 वर्ष पहले जब मैं रक्षा मंत्रालय में संयुक्त सचिव था, तो हम लोग ये सोचा करते थे कि ये जो 1947 से पहले बनी हटमेंट्स हैं, जिनकी शुरुआत हुई सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर में, कब हमारे साथी
And perhaps is this the first shift from South Block that we had known existing since forever to a new modern for defense ministry, equipment, whether it is for their welfare, all of it now, a new modern building in the heart of Delhi. Heading into a very short break, leaving you with these visuals. We return with lots more and also an update on this news.